Hello friends, today we are gonna know about moment of inertia. There are two types of moment of inertia. One is area moment of inertia and that is mass moment of inertia. Both means, to say, in area moment of inertia there is a second moment about the area, and in moment of inertia there is the second moment about the mass. Most of the area moment of inertia is used in beams of buildings or in shafts of some engines, but mass moment of inertia, it is used mostly in flywheels. So let's see how to remember their formulas relatively to each other. Okay, first of all, we are going to know about thin rod. For the thin rod there is formula 1 by 12 ml square. L is actually the length of it, and it does not depend on the thickness, as it is the thin rod we are specifying it before. And this is the moment of inertia. And how about the radius of gyration? Radius of gyration, which is the this part, it is k is equals to L by 2 under root 3. It is the square L square, and this is 12. When we are square root when we are doing square root of 12, we get 2 under root 3. Okay, that's why we are taking it as radius of gyration. Now of the hollow sphere. For the hollow sphere, I is equals to 2 by 3 mr square, and for the solid sphere, I is equals to 2 by 5 mr square. Similarly, for the radius of gyration, we are just gonna need the portion except the mass and square root of it. Okay, then we get r under root 2 by 3, and for this k is equals to r under root 2 by 5. They are very similar to each other. You may get confused in both of them, but you have to remember this. But now these six are very relative to each other. Okay, now we are gonna know about the ring and the disc. For the ring, moment of inertia is 1 by 2 mr square. R is actually the radius of it. Okay, then according to relative to the ring, for the disc we are getting 1 by 4 mr square. Okay, and how about the radius of gyration? K is equals to r by 1 by root 2. It is actually this part of the moment of inertia, and we are doing the square root of it, then we get the radius of gyration. And for the disk, k is equals to r by 2. Similarly, for the ring and disk, perpendicular to the that axis, I mean to say, suppose if this was x axis, then this is maybe z axis, and if we take this as y and this as x axis. Okay, then how we derive this equation is from the perpendicular theorem. The iz is equals to ix plus iy. Here this is a actually ring, or we can say this is disk. Okay, here x and y, in x and y axis both the moment of inertia will be same. So what we are doing here is directly writing it over here, half mr square plus half mr square. This is actually gonna fill it up and becomes mr square. So we are gonna write it over here, I is equals to mr square, and for this, if we double it, then it becomes I is equals to 1 by 2 mr square. Okay, now for the radius of gyration, you know that this becomes r, and k is equals to, this becomes r by under root 2. Now here comes the tricky part. Okay, for the cylinders we are gonna derive this to this equation. Okay, as we are talking about ring or some kind of disc, it has very small width, that's why they are called ring, or I can say disc. If we extend this width, then we can get a cylinder like this. So for the cylinder, there will be the same equation from it. Here also I is equals to mr square, and k is equals to r, and I is equals to half mr square, and k is equals to r upon under root 2. Okay, thank you friends. And if you want to know more about these equations or how to derive them, then comment down below.